one second. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know who those guys is at all. Like I didn't see the interaction. Okay. But you know what? I respect what Charleston just said as far as like, you know, with the debates. You go through a debate, and after the debate is over, it's like, what have you accomplished? Nothing. Yeah, I respect that. See, a lot of people don't understand. You know, I rock with Charleston because he's dangerous, and it's like people can't see past the antics. But the reality of it is, when Charleston is on his job, he's a problem. He's a problem, and a lot of people don't like to hear the truth. That's the reality. That's why I'm like, both of us is the most hated. But at the same time, if Charleston like really decide to take his gloves off and stop playing and put the ice grill on, News is gonna have a problem. Charleston having fun with it right now. If he decide to actually sit back and say, you know what, playtime is over, and really, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
The hate is there because people don't like the truth, man. They don't like they don't like the truth. I sit back and it's like, you know what? I try to take the political route and say, yo, let me extend my hand to some of these gang members and see if I can start, you know, leading the paving the way for them and, you know, show them some love. You can't show ignorance love. It's like when you watch the movie Halloween with Michael Myers, right? One of the scenes, Jamie Lee Curtis had Michael Myers hanging off the cliff, and she was holding his hand, like looking at him like, this is my brother, let me save him. But then she looked in those void eyes and realized, like, yo, some people you can't save. And some of these old heads is in the way. Some of these old heads is in the way.
You know, when I sat down, when I walked away from that situation, in hindsight, I looked at myself, which is a 44-year-old black man. I looked at Boss Talk ECEO, which is a guy in his mid 50s. So we got 40s, 50s. I look at Melvin Farmer, OG Skull, he's in his 60s. And then I look at Ayotola Marvin, who's in his 70s. So we got 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old black men. Two of them are old enough. One of them is old enough to be my father. The other is old enough to be my grandfather, right? So I'm being chastened. I'm supposed to sit there and listen to these elders chasten me about foolishness, right? I'm supposed to listen to these elders chasten me and represent destruction, represent mayhem, represent murder, represent pain, represent some of the one of the worst acts done to black people, and it's self-inflicted. And I'm supposed to listen and have dialogue, and I work on capital murder cases. Last night I was sitting in the studio with Michael Crabtree, Deroe from Deroe Music, and a black kid who went to college who sing opera music, and he rapping. I get a call from Miss Teresa Huffines, who's an attorney and partners with criminal defense mitigation specialists to work on a young man by the name of Moses Case, who got 3 bodies. He's facing life in prison. He want to go to trial on principle, but he dumb and stupid, and the prosecutor is offering him 8 to 10 years. If he take 8 to 10 years, he can take this plea bargain without snitching, but he'll rather go stand on principle because he didn't pull a trigger. But he don't know in the state of. So I'm working on these cases, but I'm in the studio, homie. So when I walk away from these situations and I look in hindsight, what people see me speak with is a disdain. It's a disdain that I have for old fools who can't look at me, look at a woman, or look at nobody in our community and say, man, I was wrong. Man, we was wrong. As many people died, they died in vain. I don't give a fuck how honorable you think they were. They died in vain. When will we rebuke it? When will we rebuke it? So I got a call from a very, very powerful bounty hunter from Nicholson Gardens. But he did it in such a way, you say, man, this brother trying to build something. My spirit said reject him. My mind said reject him. But because I'm obedient, homie, to trying to build something, to trying to uplift a people that's no longer oppressed by constraints, but they oppressed by the restraints of their own people. So I got this brother listening, and before this conversation ends, I'm gonna let him speak because he's real powerful out of Nicholson Gardens. First generation bounty hunter. Started the truce over there with Grape Street and Watts. He the first brother out of California with that much power. He the first brother out of California with that much power to say, brother, let's talk in love. No, I ain't coming at you. So what I'm saying is, we done broke a mold. It's ugly, but nigga, we done broke a mold, Hassan. From the West Coast to the East Coast, my nigga. So these niggas can stay mad and be mad, but we building when we walk away. So that's why I can be so bold and be so unapologetic in my confronting this bullshit, homie. Because when I walk away with guys, we building, homie. So fuck who don't like what I'm saying. I'm saying, nigga, fuck what I say. Look at what I'm doing. It's a whole lot of y'all saying right and doing wrong.
It's a fact. You know, pardon me.
So Cappuccino, I got you, and I just brought you into this.
I want to introduce Hassan to my brother Anthony Dewberry. Dewberry, that's Hassan. Hassan, that's Dewberry, man. It's a good dude, man. Now, dude, you were just listening to Charleston. You listened to Hassan. Give your take on it.
I mean, you know, just like Charleston said, and just like Hassan said, when we gonna start waking up and start realizing who is destroying our community? Now, when we sit back and we still got older guys that's at the age of 80, 50, 60 years old, and they still trying to promote ignorance, it's always going to be a problem. So when I seen that situation with Charles in school and the other, and the other guy, Charles had done the exact thing. He done the right thing by getting up, walking away. Because at the end of the day, if you is really trying to reach out to me and have a conversation, we don't need to be on the podcast. We could have had that conversation when we got on the podcast. So therefore, we need to get down to the real deal is you want to be known on the internet. See, you want to get interviews on the internet so you can be able to try to get some limelight because y'all ain't got no limelight. So it's a difference when you're trying to sit down and have a conversation to come up with a common solution, then you trying to just get play on the internet. So, you know, you want to get play on the internet to say, hey, man, I stood up for this here, and I stood up for that there. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Man. So that's how I feel about that. We need to do away with the ignorance of those individuals.
And let's just be real, homie. Both these men are on parole till they die. They on parole till they die. Any accusation can put them in prison for life. So they want our people to believe at this age with grandchildren, nephews who love on you, that they willing to put it all on the line for the set and to represent the hood. To say, okay, you can't disrespect this. And I'm saying, brother, what you saying I've already done. Where do we go at this point? I done already gave you my reasoning. I'm not disrespecting Stanley Williams. Even Stanley put Tookie to rest. Even Raymond came out of adult prison talking different. Even Monster Cody changed his name to Shakur or something. Everybody shedded the old character. Why do we hold on to him?
Right.
Say. Go ahead, Hassan.
Now you gotta say it again, because you know what? Like this is why I tell people, when Charleston take his gloves off and he stop playing and he gets on his serious, he come out on like Iron Mike Tyson. This is why dudes don't understand. Like, yo, why you keep bringing up Jim Jones and Mano? Yo, I got love for Mano. I like Jim Jones' music or whatever the case may be. Matter of fact, I don't know Mano, but I want to see Mano win. We got friends in common, but I can't sit back and allow dudes that's knocking on 50 door to call themselves lobby boys to entice young boys to think that it's something cool about these demonic lobbies that we come from, with the hallways filled with piss and shit. It's like, for me, right? I know what it's like to be in a battlefield. I know what it's like to be in jail for murder, and I also know what it's like to feel the fire, to feel the pain, to see brothers go inside that courtroom while we in the bullpens. I'm in the bullpens. They leave smiling with a suit on and come back teary-eyed because they just blew trial and got 33 to life at the age of 16. So when I listen, like, for example, Five God, a younger brother that you know, he pretty much worked with me with the music and stuff like that's my boy. But we got a lot of differences, because he'll sit up there and say, yo, you being a hypocrite. No, it's not that I'm being a hypocrite. When I went through the fire, I felt the pain, and I hate and despise what I seen my brothers go through. That's what separated me from the dudes that was in jail stealing sneakers and robbing dudes for their commissary. I'm like, yo, we ain't made not one move to break out of this bitch, but we stealing sneakers? I see, you got to separate the boys from the men. At some point in time in life, you got to reach the higher level of yourself. And some of these dudes is stuck in a second childhood. When Jay-Z put the spell over the community by saying 30 is the new 20, these dudes are really living that. 30's the new 20, 40's the new 20, 50's the new 20, 60's the new 20. So we don't get to see the complete shape and molding and sculpture of a real man that aged like fine wine. No, all we see is an ignorant nigga turn into a real nigga, turn into an old stupid nigga, turn into an old dumb nigga. And this is all we see, the library of wisdom. Because in order to have wisdom, people have to live out their experiences and live out the knowledge that they have. The wisdom has been erased from the hood. And the other people that have the wisdom is smart enough to escape from the hood. Or to turn into a chameleon, because if you shine too much light in the hood, one of these demons is gonna put your lights out.
Say, hey, I got and I don't mean to cut you off, Hassan. I got Nino Cappuccino from Watts, California. Can you hear us, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Can y'all hear him, Hassan?
Yeah.
I just wanted him to chime in right quick on what Hassan just said. This brother was responsible for the 92 truce that had nothing to do with the Rodney King events. It has something to do with brothers like us in the background working to put a stop to something, but the Rodney King thing just happened in the process of what's taking place.
Yeah, we're familiar with Nino. He's been on this platform.
Yeah, so shout out to Real Tune, man, and that's my little bro, man, for reaching out to me and saying, man, I got somebody from California that want to talk to you. I'm man, I don't want to talk to nobody, nigga. I'm sick of these niggas just talking. So he said, so he vouched for him. So I said, well, give him my number, fam, and let's see. So I'm not looking for confrontation, but at this point, I'm closed-minded to anybody trying to defend what I'm standing against. The brother came with trying to understand first and foremost where I'm coming from. How did we get to this point, Charleston? How did you get to where you are today with what you speak about? And the man listened. And he heard. So he and I, well, you go ahead, Cappuccino.
Hey, first off, where we at right now, Charlie? What platform? Where we at?
We on Infomize.
Okay, no wonder the response was kind of dumb, man. Info, what's up, man? You ain't did nothing to me, man. What's happening?
Yeah, nah, it's all good, man. You know, I don't take this shit personal. The last conversation we had, though, I would say it wasn't a productive conversation, so that's why my energy was the way it was. But you know, it ain't personal.
It wasn't a productive conversation. Listen, man, since we online, and you know, here's the thing: Cass got to quit proclaiming. Okay, I'm a man and I'm this, I'm a king, but then when it comes down to self-criticism, dudes don't want to take the self-criticism and swallow man as the man they are and keep it pushing. Bro, I didn't ask to be placed in no position in the very first place when I came on your platform. I mean, you reached out to me based on a referral from one of my rads. So I came there to give the truth and unlike the truth, which is what I've done. Same thing as today is being on here right now, man. I'm not here for no bullshit, and I don't want to hear no bullshit because I'm not here to participate in no bullshit. My whole thing.
Yeah, because this is impromptu. This is all impromptu. This is unplanned, unscripted.
Right, no, it's all good, Charlie. I'm with the flow.
Yeah.
So it's like, so my whole thing is, info man. I got to the point of the structure where, bro, I can be on this internet for the next 2-3 years of my life if I want to, and I can act stupid and dumb with everybody else and be stupid and dumb, man. Fuck some buffoonery. What are we gonna do for us resolvement and resolution by coastal? We know, okay, we know where the Mecca aspect of things was started. We know where the seeds was planted. Everybody got to stop playing these roles like who's the toughest. We know where the goddamn seeds was planted. We are at fault, bro, when it comes to this shit, when it comes down to gang culture. I'm the first to admit it, and I'm a man about it, and I'm not ashamed of it. It's called growth. You feel what I'm saying? So now my whole point is, okay, what I do, Cap, to push the line, to push the envelope, to get brothers and other individuals that I know as warriors such as myself, even from my coast and bi-coastal, to bring us together to show that unification of G's, and then so we can lead by example to show our youth and our younger ones that it's other routes, there's other ways of this shit, bro, because enough is a fucking enough, man. Every time you turn on this goddamn internet, it ain't no other cultures that's dying vastly unless they're third world cultures in a third world country somewhere, man, through war. It's our people, bro. And so now I got to the point to where I raised 2 kids on my own, homie, twins, a set of twins. I poured them out their mama womb, and I ended up raising them by myself from 4 years old up to 19. They speak 4 different languages, bro. They're in college. It's their first year in college. My son slipped and got caught up in the streets in a little hype for a second. So that triggered something in me, my niggas. I said, oh, hold up. This was something I've been protecting all my life at the point when I said, when I'm going to have kids, I won't raise my kids in my hood. I'm not throwing no flags in my kids' pockets. You won't see no pictures of my kids and me, you know, banged out. Fuck all that. That's a generational curse. So that was never me. So my whole thing was, I got nieces. Now I got 9 nephews. I got 8 nieces. So I think about these things, man, when it comes down to the shit that's going on today. It's like, bro, I don't want to have to come out of retirement, man, and come out of my situation and my accomplishments and my achievements and shit and goals that I've achieved already to come back down to the level of becoming destructive because somebody that hurt somebody, man, of my loved ones. Because they chose to be out here in these funky ass, dirty ass, fucked up ass streets.
You know what got me today, homie? It's 2 things happened to me today to say, man, man, I realized that a 15-year-old kid watches me and his mother didn't like me and he convinced his mother to like me. And so, man, and so that fried my brain. And what else got me? See, I was gonna reject this brother right here, homie. His voice was too aggressive. He talked like a California nigga. But I saw 3-6 Mafia and them old niggas busy balling them squabbling on stage last night, homie. I said, if our old niggas is doing this, we doing it on the internet, they doing it on the verses. You see what I'm saying, nigga? We lose.
Automatically trickle to the streets.
Yeah, homie. So I'm saying, come on. So I called this brother, homie. So I called this brother and I said, say, homie, let's sit down and get these people something that they need to see. Me and you done it, Info Mars. Me and you done it, homie.
But now we got you on the phone, Nino, right? When we spoke that time, we had my issue was whatever the fallout was from the interview that we did. Yeah, you had people making videos about you. Yeah, Yeah, you have motherfuckers saying, yo, you know this, you know that. That's what these platforms do. When you come on these platforms,
Yeah.
and get a lot of attention, a lot of views, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get good. You're gonna get good responses. You're gonna get bad responses. Me and your issue was that you saw a couple videos of people that made about you and wanted to come right back on the platform to address those. But that ain't what we do over here. So that's what we didn't see eye to eye.
But it wasn't,
you know what I mean? Like I said, you know, it was just a learning experience. It ain't nothing personal, but we didn't see eye to eye. Okay, shit happens. You don't see eye to eye. We agreed to disagree on that particular situation, and it's the first time that we spoke since then. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but yeah, I hear you. I understand. Yeah, I hear you.
So listen. So what we'll do, homie, we go finish. We'll finish this because we all on camera. It's cameras everywhere. So we'll make this right. Yeah, afterward. But I just need Nino in on this conversation, right? Cause this some heavy shit we putting on the people tonight, man. So we covering all coast right now.
Right.
Yeah, you know, you wanted to respond,
I was just saying, Info man. Even then, bro. I'm gonna say this, and I'm let off. I'm done with it. We don't even got to go back and forth about it, because I'm not on the negative tip of it. My whole thing, man, was just with you and I. It wasn't about coming back on and clapping at these dudes, because again, I didn't know them. My whole thing was, I just felt the shit was just. Like you said, it was my first situation in the first place, but it was a learning process for me because I learned off of it. Guaranteed I learned off that shit, bro. Of putting myself in a certain position. So I learned off of it. I didn't know nothing about trolling and all this old internet shit.
Right. Yo, Nino, you know what it be sometimes, bro? A dude, you know, you see a dog howling at the moon. The moon don't never howl back. So in some instances, a dog howling at the moon, if the moon actually howls back, you know what that make a motherfucker feel like? So that's just some of these guys of lesser stature, of lesser status, woofing, and if they can get you to respond, it's a win for them.
Yeah.
Right. At that point in time, we didn't see eye to eye on that, but you've experienced it, you went on and you moved on, you've been on other platforms, you know how the game go, and you know what these guys use as they tactics.
Right. Follow what I'm saying, though, man. I took your situation because, like I said, I come from the Chronicles thing. A couple of times I did another couple of little things, and then I hit your shit, right? When I come here, now this was the first time something like this instance even occurred because I didn't open some doors on the truth. And when the truth was revealed, niggas got in their feelings. I don't give a fuck about you niggas in your motherfucking feelings in your mama garage some goddamn way. So when I'm talking like this, again, niggas want to get mad at me. Y'all mad at Charlie White? I respect Charlie White. I don't give a fuck about no Charleston White's character. I told this man this because I understood it. So when it came down to me, for some reason, the East didn't want to accept that and swallow that pill. You had a grown-ass man on here talking about, oh, no, man, I just don't like the way he talk. And he come off a certain way. So what? So my whole thing was this, bro.
Now, that's another thing. Look, you know, in Charleston and Hassan. Now, Dewberry, you next to Charleston all the time. Now, me and Hassan has always come on the platform to support us and vice versa, right?
Wait.
You know how much pushback I get just because I'm cool with Hassan. You know how much pushback I get? Yo, why you be interviewing Charleston? Yo, look, man, these brothers got messages. Hold on. You may not get it now, but you'll get it.
You say Hassan on it too?
I go through the motions. I get all type of pushback because I'm cool with Hassan and I'm cool with Charleston. But I understand what they're doing. So
not to cut you off, but see, that's the catch, though. You can't tell me about Charleston. You can't tell me, oh, man, Charleston saying this and Charleston saying that. See, I always tell a person the same thing. If you don't like what Charleston's saying, turn the TV off and go to another channel. Because at the end of the day, we're going to have this movement must go on. I'm listening to a song and I listen to Charleston. And I'm going to say this here. A son said something earlier. that they have a powerful voice. And when you got a powerful voice and you're not going with the motion of what everybody wants you to go with, guess what? They don't supposed to like you. They don't supposed to like you. So that's why I say that, no, they making a positive move. Now, guess what? They got me doing it. I just been on the internet for 3 months. I didn't think I could do this. But when I watch Charleston and I watch Hassan Campbell, man, I watch how they break down situations, how they go about doing certain things. Now, I'm built for this. Yeah, I'm built for this, so let's go, y'all.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, look, let's not get caught up. Let's get into some serious stuff. Charleston, I know you want a time crunch, so I want to hit some of these more serious questions. Now, a couple weeks ago, we see that 3 men were found guilty of murdering the unarmed Ahmaud Arbery in South Georgia. Do you think that they received the right verdict, and what kind of message does that send out to the black community as far as some is finally getting justice?
Man, that's one guy. That's one guy. That's one case compared to. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to say they got what they deserve. Because in my mind, man, white people is doing to us what they supposed to do. White folks ain't wrong in my mind for hunting a nigga and killing no nigga. They ain't wrong. Folks ain't done nothing wrong in my mind. They doing us way better than I probably would be doing them if we was over them.
Now, hold up, Charles. You know I usually agree with you. I agree with a lot of stuff.
Nah, Timbo, I gotta cut you off. Timbo, let me follow up. Cause you know what's crazy?
No, I don't know. Hold up. I don't want to cut his wisdom. I want to go with it.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Hassan. Go ahead.
Give it to me, Tim. Yo, let me say something, right? Yo,
because you know people gonna feel some kind of way about that response.
I know.
Let me tell you something.
So let me
No. You know what's crazy? Sometimes I be wanting to snuff Charleston White because I be like, yo, why he still in my eye? Why he get out of my head? Charleston be jumping.
Okay. What you say? Go ahead. Start over. What you say? We can hear you now. Go ahead. Repeat yourself.
How I feel about this is like, so you got 3 white boys that gunned down a dude that was jogging. Black people, all these McGilla guerrilla killers is killing everything in sight, even the babies. You mean to tell me there ain't no retaliation? We sat back and waited to hear what the trial was going to be, what the verdict was going to be, instead of going up in that courtroom and drag.
No drive-bys on their mama house.
No drive-bys. No retaliation. So I'm like, yo, hold up. We sitting there waiting. We shall overcome.
So that's what I'm saying.
You mean to tell me that our soldiers are so tough that you could make a video talking about who I smoke, young baby, who I smoke. You done killed the nigga and then rapped about killing the nigga. But when one of them niggas killed about 3 or 4 of us at one time, there's no retaliation. No retaliation. That's why I said, you know what? If you like, if I really wanted to put the pressure on black men, just go get you 10 white friends and come through the hood with ice grills. They will shoot it out with 10 other black men, but as soon as you bring some white faces, and there ain't got to be no police, bring some white faces to the hood and watch how it turn up. Watch how it turn up.
Dewberry, what's your point of view on that? And what's your point of view on Charleston and Hassan's statements?
Now, I'm gonna look at it like this. I'm gonna look at it a little different, but I can understand where they're coming from. I feel like they deserve more than what they got. You see what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that is because it's not about just the justice. It's about that we need, as a community, we need to wake up and start realizing that
we always saying, fuck the police. We always saying, we're against the government. But then we'll sit back and say, we want the police and the government to lock them up. So we need to come up with one solution to say, are we for the police, the government, or are we going to say, man, fuck all of that. We need to stand up on our own 2 foot and put our own work in. See, we got too much going on. See, the hip-hop culture got us thinking all types of ways. Because they saying, fuck the police, right? And then they'll come back and say, man, fuck the government. We ain't with that, right? But then they'll say, yeah. They'll say, yeah, when somebody get convicted. No, if we going to be against that, let's be all the way against that. That means we got to start handling the situations ourselves. Am I right or am I wrong? Now, I'm going to let y'all in.
You know what? Like you said, right? The whole key to it is, how do you go to somebody who put shackles on you, stole your land, fed your babies to alligators, right? When you went to the church back in the days, I used to always wonder why they had an alligator on the fan. You fanning yourself with the alligator. So those fans that came from white churches ended up in black churches, and you fanning yourself, and you looking at the alligators eating the babies on the goddamn fans, and these are the same people you asking. No justice, no peace. You asking this same system that put their lynch mob on you to come rescue you from them. Instead of getting angry, you got all the soldiers that you need. You got all the guns that you need. The problem is you can't figure out how to stop your sons from killing your sons.
Oh, man.
You can't figure out how to get these old niggas from being OGs. These OGs want you to give them accolades for surviving to be 40 and 50 years old in the hood, but they never bust a grape in a fruit fight against the enemy. You were scoring points. You scored points your whole life against somebody that looked just like you. You scored points for the enemy and then want to stand up there and stick your chest out like I've been doing this. Yeah, you've been doing it for the master. There's the house Negro, there's the field Negro, and then there's the runaway slave.
But that ain't. Hey, who is that talking? Hassan?
Yeah.
Hey, but that ain't the case, homeboy, in every situation and all the time, though, man. It is cats who have revolved and grew, bro. It is the individuals who seen the light and seen the other side of that shit, man, to where they reflected it on something different. So it ain't just all OGs or all old cats. So my thing is, man, when it comes down to the bi-coastal aspect of things, man, you know, everybody got their own opinion about things when it comes to this West and how shit is done, man. And, you know, you're entitled to your opinion. It's like when I came on this platform and I started, when I opened that door, you know what I'm saying, and this introduction was made, I knew that I was giving myself a prime aspect where people can voice their opinion, but that don't mean their opinion is right or they're entitled to it. You got to earn it. Opinion is really earned. For real. But you voice it because it's circumstances that we in as far as these platforms. But it's cats, man, it's not talked about. It's cats that's not seen because they're not involved with the social media aspect of things. And it's not big and broad.
Well, you know, that's where I disagree with you at, fam, because for 10 years before I came to social media, I was in the schools, I was in the churches, I was in the juveniles. I used to teach at the adult parole office, the central unit. I used to be at Huntsville when they used to release the inmates every Tuesday and Thursday. I used to travel to Washington, D.C. I traveled around the country. And what I saw, there aren't many black men nowhere in the United States of America, nowhere, homie, that can stand up for one in their household. And the woman listen to them. So while all of us black men are online sharing and debating our ideologies, what are the women saying about us? So all of these men are sticking their chests out. Bring your woman. Let's hear what your woman gotta say. Let's hear what your kids gotta say, because for the most part, fam, that's why I don't work with black men, because they ain't nowhere doing it. They somewhere talking. I got an old man that teaches me. He's 76 years old, and he say, man, you ain't got no business sitting down talking with no other black brother, because all y'all go do is debate and argue. You go argue over who Muslim, who Christian. You go argue over LeBron James, Michael Jordan. You go argue over Crip and Blood, and ain't none of y'all go build nothing. Ain't none of y'all go get on the roof and construct nothing. No tennis shoe factories. So every time he see me talking to black man, I get a phone call and say, what I tell you, my nigga? You talking. Why you gonna stop building to talk to these niggas? Ain't none of them built nothing. They ain't changed no laws. You done changed laws, my nigga. Our people need better for you than you to sit down on platform to talk to black men. So when y'all get through talking, what have y'all built? What have y'all built? No, so all of us talking. Nothing. So that's what I'm saying, bro. We all wrong. Let's get our women and let's ask these women questions with the children standing. And then we all to be quiet.
That's why I say all the time, right? When Charleston White gets serious, he's a fucking monster. He's a beast. He's a pit bull. I get the chain off of him. Because the reality of it is, I sit back and I listen to these lost-ass Negroes, man, and it make me sick to my soul. I put myself in a situation recently, and I ain't even talk about them cats that even bring life to them, trying to help those smaller platforms that want to give you your flowers. They don't really want to give you your flowers. They want to use your name and their titles and act like they're giving you accolades so they can give you a knife in the back. You can't, right now, where we at right now, it's called leading by example. Leading by example. When dudes be talking about me, it's like, how y'all miss the message? How do you miss the message? When I sit back and I talk about the candles burning in front of the building, how do you miss the message? When I sit back and I talk about the scream, when you listen to little Brian's mother, Biddy, little Biddy, when you listen to the boy just graduated. He just graduated, and the hood reward him with some slugs to the neck. And when you listen to the mother screaming, the pain in her voice, when you listen to that scream, how does it not affect the black men? It don't, because they fucking cowards. They are cowards. And in some cases, I ain't gonna even lie, I want slavery to come back so hard so it can break this curse that we have on us. Black people are so destroyed that we need so much pressure. So much pressure from the slave master to where that we have no choice but to fight back again. It gotta be to the point to where that, you know how when you watch the movie Amistad, where the mother just took her child and she fell off the ship like y'all will not have me? We need that kind of blood again, where the woman is really ready to say, you know what? I don't think too many men in the black community deserve black women. And then when you sit back and you look at it, we done dogged our women out so bad to the point to where that they like, you know what? They competing with the hoes now. They don't know how to be modest women anymore. We done broke them. Every other female, when I was growing up, and I always say this, when I was growing up, it was hard as hell for me to get a female to give me butt-naked pictures of her. And we was already having sex. It was just something that they ain't want to do. Now you got females all over Instagram showing you their cleavage, showing you their ass, dropping it like it hot, and they're talking about why is niggas in their DM, bitch, because that's what comes along with that. You are a fucking Instagram porn star. The next thing that comes along with that is ejaculation. So who's really raising the kids? The whole system, the system machine that broke us. We are broken people, guinea pigs. Bad.
And that's why motherfuckers is just
They said how Jay-Z said the crabs ain't supposed to be in the barrel. Yeah, the crabs ain't supposed to be in the barrel, but I bought me some crabs and I put them in my fish tank. And you know what? When they ain't in the barrel, they still scavengers. And some of you niggas is crabs, scavengers. You turn into leeches. You like to feed and suck on the blood on the people that look just like you instead of the people that's in power. But you know what? I got a little bit of respect for the kids that's going to them stores. The smash and grab niggas, they're robbing the rich. But then I seen a video on Instagram when a little nigga in the hood, two little niggas in the hood, took a brick and busted the nigga in the back of his head and robbed him. I see videos in the hood where dudes sitting up there actually chasing senior citizens down the block and snatching their pocketbooks. So you know what? You little niggas gotta play the snatch and grabs and run up in a Louis Vuitton and snatch and grab $100,000 worth of pocketbooks and stuff like that, instead of going through the hood and getting somebody that's 3 months behind their rent, so be it. So be it.
That's powerful. That's very powerful, man. Very powerful.
You know, so it's like, yo, the egos. The number one thing that's killing black men is when you see a black man that's successful, you feel like, all right, that's my target. Let's get him. All these dudes out here is missing the message, man.
Sure.
When you look at Jay-Z, right? When you look at Jay-Z, all these dudes miss the fact that this nigga went from the hustler to the dude that's sitting behind the desk. Then when you look at them corporate meetings with him with them little boule members that's up under him, they come back out of those meetings, lobby boys, instead of them being the same page as him. And instead of being the corporate dudes showing, all right, you know, I got this business right here, I got that business right here, these are the moves that I'm making. Now we're going to be the little minions that come back to the hood, and they not following into the footsteps of this corporate leader, this king. Jay-Z is no different from some of the greatest kings that you've ever seen with the power that he has financially. But financially, we ain't nothing but a tax write-off for the boule.
Now look, let me ask y'all this. Now, 1992, Dr. C. Dolores Tucker, she petitioned to abolish the production and distribution of gangster rap. Now, but we all know her campaign failed because we see how gangster rap propelled. Now, in 2021, 29 years later, Dr. C. Dolores Tucker was right. Does gangster rap fuel violence and the mistreatment of women?
Look at drill music. Look at drill music. And it's like when you see Jojo Capone, right? That lost nigga.
Yeah.
That lost nigga. That disgusting lost nigga. When you look at a nigga like that,
he not here to me and Jojo is cool.
No, let me finish. No, let me finish. Because the reality of it is that he can come back on your platform and you can bring us back on. This will lead us both to being on your platform. See, when I speak out against Chicago, you can't talk about Chicago. How you gonna tell me that I can't talk about Chicago when Chicago drill music is the reason why little kids that I know are dying and their mothers is crying? And their kids, it kills me to see. Back in the days, my mother didn't know what I was doing because I wouldn't tell her my street. Like, she would hear it from the streets and I'd be like, nah, Ma, it wasn't me. Today's days, because of Chicago drill, you got little niggas going to graveyards, pissing on the graveyards, making songs, ooh, I smoke, young baby, ooh, I smoke. This comes from Chicago. Now, New York has been a modest. We ain't even been in the top 100 with the killings. Now we in the top 3. Don't nobody, no disrespect to California. California was respected for that gang shit. Nobody on the East Coast or even in Philadelphia or even with, like, nobody even know LA for that anymore. We don't even remember y'all gang culture no more. It got so bad in the East Coast. We don't even know that Bloods and Crips exist anymore in California anymore because New York turned into a shithole. And when niggas be sitting up there trying to brag and get their stripes and give the history, my history in New York, all I see is murder. I don't believe you, murder. Fuck around, I leave you, murder. Listen to the lyrics.
I got a 17-year-old kid.
Niggas get shot every day, B. You be all right. You tough, right? Cam Vaughn voice. Listen to what's going on. Chicago is the STD of the black community.
Oh.
It is the STD.
I used to hate Miss Tucker because I was a Pac fan. So let me just show you. See, we keep forgetting that most of the people who we say, well, they shouldn't be taking rap serious. Well, these are young, impressionable minds. These are humans who don't have fully developed brains, so they lack the logic and the reasoning of the development of your prefrontal cortex, right? So I didn't like Jay-Z. I can't sing no Jay-Z songs until he got with Pimp C now. I didn't like Mobb Deep. I didn't like Biggie because I went Pac. Now I'm a kid who picks sides, right? When he mentioned Miss Tucker's name, I despised that woman, not knowing who she was until I became grown and understanding what she did. I'm the male version of who that woman was to our people now, because I know better. So I know better, right? So I'm doing better because I know better. So now that I know better, I listened to a song one time. It says, knock on the door, wait, shoot through a peephole. That was a 17-year-old who went to a woman's house and knocked on the door and killed the niggas, ain't he? He knocked on the door. She said, who is it? He said, the police, and he shot through the peephole, and they went and rapped about it. Just last year, there was a young man who went and pissed on a popular rapper's grave, little kid by the name of J-Dub. He went and pissed on J-Dub's grave. Within 2 hours, he was dead. The suspected killer, 3-4 months later, was killed inside the club, fucking with some people listening to rap music. All of the deaths now is centered around the music. It ain't around gang violence.
Yeah.
It ain't around gang violence anymore.
That's because it coincided and pulled over into hip hop. Hip hop is.
Yo, tell Nino I sent him the link.
Say Nino, he sent you the link. He sent you the link. Chime in. Info sent you the link. Chime in. He just sent the link to your phone.
Oh, so how do I do this?
But you know what, man? I'm gonna say this up. See, it was a time where I was just like that, right? I didn't I was like, what is she talking about? It ain't nothing but music. But not really understanding that the influence that the hip hop culture had on society. See, people, we can sit back and say, because I always say this here, we need to start having more education with the kids about hip hop music. But then we also got to understand that each kid want to be looked at a certain type of way. So if you praise hip hop artists, that's what they want to do. They want to be just like that hip hop artist. They want to be just like this rapper. So whatever this rapper say, guess what? They feel like that's the golden rule. Until now, you just said it, Charles. Ain't nobody being killed behind gang violence. Nowhere, probably in LA. But where else is there really gang violence? You got individuals now saying, I'm a rap group. And a rap group got Crips, a rap group got Bloods, a rap group got all these kind of people. And when it's time for them to go against another rap group, guess what? They got Crips and Bloods, so therefore they going against the gang culture, right around to a fault.
Yeah.
So it done got past the gang violence. It's about what? The hip hop music.
We bury more rappers than we are gangsters.
Putting out there in the music. They pushing that on us. They pushing it on us. That's how they destroying us, man. And that is really how I feel about this hip hop culture.
Now, you speaking of hip hop. Now the other day, hold on a second, let me just pull that up.
Let me just say this. I challenge any rapper to rap about killing dogs. Just make one song about dog fighting. How you love watching a dog die. Make one song, nigga, and prove us wrong. Make one song about nigga kill white folk. Nigga, we'll give us one song about kill a cracker. Kill a Peckerwood. And
rap music would die. Rap music would be over with. The minute that black people start talking like that, it would be over with.
Give me one song, kill a cracker. Shit. And watch what happened. Watch what the response would be. Watch what the response. Make a song praising Bill Cosby. Make a song praising Bill Cosby about how he done white women. You do it. You talk about black doing it about black women.
Charleston, somebody sent me a video, right? Because you already know who I am. I'm an activist against rape. Somebody sent me a video talking about Charleston was bragging about raping a white woman. And I ignored it, but they don't understand why I ignored it, because I understand. So I'm supposed to go eat full shit over a man that's showing you this is what's done to us by him. But when he sit up there and say he's a piece of shit, no, he's trying to make you see this is what was done with us. And even still, we are being raped. You're a Dewberry right now.
Let me clear this up. And let me clear this up, because I heard somebody say, well, why don't nobody ask him, have you ever raped somebody? Have you ever ran a train before, guys? Yeah, that's rape. Yeah, we was raping, homie. We didn't know. We didn't know if she said no that first time, that no meant no. We keep pushing the envelope, guys. We keep touching. We keep feeling. So what are we saying? Say, nigga, leave the door open. Say, see if you can get old girl over here. This is our culture.
Stop telling the secrets, Charleston.
So let's say, homie, so we getting them over here. We go spike the punch. We go get them drunk. We getting them over here to get them drunk to do what? To have sex. That's rape, guys. I just don't paint that picture. But we all raping. We all raping, homie. We doing the sister wrong. So what I did, I came and said, nigga, this is how we used to do white girls growing up. We was taught to do white girl like this because we were done like this. Right? Were we knocking them across the head, taking their pussy? No, homie. But we were getting them plastered so some niggas can fuck. She was coming over here because she like one of us, but eventually she gonna sleep with all five of us. She's gonna give in because she's being put in a situation. She don't know how to say no. 3 niggas in a room with their dicks out. Y'all know how we do it, fellas. Come on, fellas. Y'all know how we do it. Y'all know how we do the freaks, the flippers. Y'all know how we do it, guys. I just know how to paint the picture to say, oh, wow. But believe me, man, I've never forcefully taken no pussy.
Hey, Charleston, what do you like? Do you want the ugly truth or a beautiful lie? Niggas don't want the ugly truth. They want that beautiful lie. They don't want the ugly truth. You know what a lot of dudes are like dealing with pedophilia in the black community? Because a lot of dudes was 32. Matter of fact, hold up. Aaron Hall was 32 when he went to the awards with Death Row. But Gloria Velez, I think it's Velez, Gloria,
yeah.
The video vixen.
Yeah.
She was pregnant at 17, which means he was 32 having sex with a 16-year-old. Now, she never said when she started sleeping with him, but she had to be 16 in order for her to be 17 or 17. Right. He was sleeping with her at 16, at 32 years old. So why do you think so many black men be shying away from pedophilia? But they always got something to say at some irrelevant shit. The bottom line to it is, like, yo, I knew when the dude brought that up with Charleston, I knew why Charleston was doing it. This is why I'm like, I understand what Charleston is doing. Dudes don't like Charleston because they don't want the ugly truth. You got a man that's sitting up there in all the parole, the courts, and all types in the system. I hate the system. I didn't even want to go to the system to fight for visitation right for my kids. I hate it so much because it broke me so bad. You got a man that was broken by the same system that decided, all right, I'm going to get in the belly of the beast and I'm going to fight. That's why I respect him. Now I'm trying to figure out how to follow Charleston's footsteps and go into the belly of the beast and change these laws before it's too late. Because once this new world order finishes doing and go in a direction that they're going in, you will not even live. You will be wiped out from this earth. Anybody that they got a movie. I forgot the name of the movie. But I think it's Surrogates. I'm not sure if that's the name. But in the movie, they basically showing you how if you do not fall up under the system of the conqueror in the way you think, that your whole thinking process will be wiped out. And this is where we at right now, where they play a little guinea pig games with us. The that and the other. I mean that. You see what I'm saying?
Your children will mock you. Your children will mock you because of what he's explaining. Your children will mock you. They're gonna mock us. Our children will mock us under that system.
Now that we're speaking of hip hop and all that stuff right now, this past week, NBA YoungBoy was on Clubhouse. And he had a conversation with academics, and he explained that he would prefer to collaborate with Tekashi 6ix9ine than to work with half these other rappers. Now, to quote him, he said, half these pussies that be talking don't know what they'd do if they was in his situation. Now, what the F I got to do with that, or me or anybody else? Now, what are your thoughts on him taking that stance? Charles, let's start with you, Charles.
I'm finna have to go after this. He done went to the big house. He done went to the big university with the big boys in the feds. So he done learned and got a reality of what a snitch really is. They got paperwork parties. They got snitches who got their own compounds. Nigga, they got niggas working. They trying to snitch to get out, nigga. So he done had an awakening. So hey homie, I see the young boy started his own record label while he was in prison. So why should we shame the man for making business decisions when all of us do some form of some sort of a business with a nigga that's a snitch? We just don't openly know it.
Okay. Dewberry, what you think, bro?
Shit, it's called elevation, ain't it?